What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And, of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the famliest of Fridays.
Yep.
The Fam Friday coming at you now. And, of course, thank you so much for joining us here. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
Hey, guys. A lot of interesting and, quick. I would say interesting and quick, but a lot of it. News, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys today. A lot of things that went down that we got to kind of quickly wrap up for the week in a way, right? And, Fan Friday turning this into kind of now truly, getting the landing gear down as we're ready to land here in this Sunday afternoon game against the Patriots. So we're going to discuss, of course, the matchups that I believe are the keys to victory. Must-win matchups if you want to either stay in the game or win this game.
Yeah, especially against Belichick, right?
Yes, and you see him there, the evil empire. I mean, you got the spying, you got the deflate gate. Right here, everything is encapsulated in the Patriots right there, at least under Belichick's regime. So, guys, here you see, of course, a lot of information we're going to be throwing at you here. The right side there with Zach Martin, Biadish, offensive line situation. How's their injury situation going? Tyron Smith not seen this week at all on the field. Is he going to play? We'll let you know. And, of course, the Joneses, McCarthy, everyone spoke. Anyways, baby, as we get into this thing on a Fan Friday, let's shout out those that, top spotting it here on My Cowboys Family on our 4 different boards we have represented here. And number 1 board here is the sponsor of the week. And I see it at the bottom right there, always on full rotation, and it is Snug X.
Woo!
Once again.
Appreciate you, Snug.
Yes. Again, he's not only taking that over, he's also the Cash App King for Trayvon Diggs' number of weeks, 7 in a row. Much love to Snug X. He's actually again in the lead. Trying to make this an Aikman 8 for Snug X. 2 full months of domination on the Cash App board. So we'll see what happens on that side of things. The man, Marco Sepien, representing TJ Bass. Offensive line depth. That's kind of, ironic. 66 points for him, currently on the Stream Boss. And when you look at the gifting membership side of things, one of the best ways of dropping the love here, you got the man representing the top spot, the Godfather, De Lunatic, on that side of things. Appreciate him. I think he dropped 10 gifted memberships last week. So appreciate the man there, De Lunatic. This week in the lead, it is currently Brandon James Shea. Pretty sure he's got a field goal lead over Jason Renfro right now as we see who wins that on Sunday, right? We crown everyone Sunday night after the Cowboy game. So I think we touched everything on everything except for one last thing. The overall leader this week, you saw Mark Hovsepian on the Stream Boss. Mark Hovsepian is currently the overall leader on the board, trying to regain that sponsor of the week board. So, again, much love to everybody on that side of things. Tonight, I know we had some, everyone's kind of coming in here on a Fan Friday. Of course, we discussed, the super chats. Appreciate everybody who drops the love and support that way. The thanks button. You got the jumping in the membership side of things and the gifting memberships. Appreciate all you guys on those fronts. But also in the Cash App side, there's 4 ways to help out the channel as well, baby. Snug X is running the show here. But what do you know about the 4 other ways to help out the channel here on the Cash App side?
I know you have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, and of course, last but not least, the Streamlabs link with such a comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
And it is a Fan Friday. So we got to shout out the star level membership on the nightly. But we also shout out, of course, over everything every day, but the silver level as well here. So also star level membership, remember, a monthly raffle for the star and over everything levels, and there's
authentic like Stitch New Jersey. Yeah. There's a variety of players, styles, sizes. So you want to rep it old school or new school, we got you.
Yep. So a way to jump in there as we get ready for October's raffle coming around the corner here for the star and over everything level members. And speaking of, baby, why don't you do the shout outs here for those that rep the silver tonight? And because every Fan Friday the silver level gets the shout outs as well. So the silver, the star, and the over everything level.
Thank you very much to
Ray Lavelle, who's, of course, representing it.
Okay, Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, The Lunatic, and the over everything, Snug X.
Oh, hell yeah. Much love to everybody. Appreciate you guys, and can't do this without your love and support on that side of things as well. So, baby, as we open this up tonight on the Fan Friday, who's in the house ready to shout it out?
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were going to say something more.
We're bobblehead.
We have Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, here in the house. Rolando Rodriguez, much love. El Fuego 2.0. And yes, appreciate you answering the question there. Yes, October 31st is the trade deadline. So we still have, a bit of time there to maybe figure a few things out. And I fully believe that Dallas is taking as much of that time as possible to kind of consider all their possibilities.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're doing
anything,
just
too
saying
early
that,
after 3 weeks to make trades and panic. I think that's the mindset.
And not even that, but I think the Cowboys would want to see, hey, let's give it a few more weeks and see, what is it that's going on, right?
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Anyway, Dallas Cowboy 92 in the house. Willie Vassar, hello and hi, of course. Monroe Goodette, just shout out, an extra shout out there. Mario Roberts, much love. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Cactus G, in the place to be. Daniel Berry Sports, much love to you. We have Griffon81, peace and love to you as well. Dirty South MVP representing. Oh, cool, much love. We have, no, just trying to make sure I give all the proper shout-outs here. Demetrius Alexander representing. William Burney, much love. Freedom first. You were almost first. But Jason Renfro beat you to the punch.
Ooh, Jason Renfro in the house.
Appreciate you, Jason. Let me see. I think, is that as far back as I can go for now? Eric Wallace, what's up? Much love. So, yes, it is. So, baby, I think that's everyone here in the house tonight so far. So, let me go ahead and hand this off to you officially.
All right. Let's rock and roll here, guys.
What's going on in the football world and our Dallas Cowboy world? Because everything football adjacent is always Dallas Cowboy related.
Well, this is a kind of big news here, which kind of, well, not big news. I guess big news in the entertainment world, but also homicide world. Las Vegas police today arrested a man suspicion of murder in the 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur. Of course, most of you guys probably heard this already. It was earlier today. So, yeah, it was huge news in that case. Of course, if you love hip-hop, love music, hey, listen. About time. It's been long overdue for that, right?
20-something years later, that's crazy.
But the kind of connection to the Cowboys, believe it or not, is the fact that Tupac's murder was solved before the Cowboys made another NFC championship game.
Oh,
maybe that's the jinx. Maybe now they solved this case. Maybe, hey, Super Bowl for the Cowboys around the corner. I don't know. I'm hoping. Anyways,
justice for Tupac.
Yeah, at least hopefully that's the hope here, guys. Now, to the NFL side of things, the NFL and the NFLPA, so the players and the NFL owners modifying their gambling policies.
Okay.
There's now going to be an increased discipline for gambling on NFL games in most situations. And I'll explain because there was some actual decreases in penalties as well. But now it's a violation. The violation is now 1 year and 2 years if a player bets in some way on their own team. It's kind of looked on as like insider trading almost in a way. Any game fixing, of course, is banishment. Means I don't care Aaron Rodgers, if he throws one less touchdown on purpose because to win money, he's out of the league forever.
Yeah,
probably never in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't care if it's the
Babe Ruth kind of situation.
You clipped your toenails in a certain direction, and that was the thing, people bet on. Anything that you are doing to actively, influence the outcome of a game because you specifically bet on that specific outcome, you are like extra triple fucked.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're. That's it. It's a Pete Rose. Pete Rose, you guys know, of course, he bet on his own team and was banished from the Hall of Fame. Great player, but that kept him out and still out, I think, of the Hall of Fame. So, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Anyways.
Which, I hate to say it, but I understand.
It's just to discourage it 100%. It's been proven it's proved they never actually swayed a game on purpose for that, but it's still, it looks as bad as it can look. And the NFL don't want to have that stain on them like baseball has.
I feel like part of the reality of trying to be one of the best players is to at least keep up some of the integrity of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, if you're actively caught trying to, rig things in your favor, regardless of the reason, I can understand why.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are, we can't let you in our club.
Yeah, it diminishes the sport that you're trying to keep to that integrity level, right? So, again, betting on non-NFL sports from the workplace will now lead to this discipline. First violation is a 2-game suspension without pay. The second violation is a 6-game suspension without pay. The third violation, suspension without pay for at least 1 year. So if you're betting on, again, a non-NFL sports team or game in the workplace, you can do this at your house if you want to, but you can't do it in the workplace. If you do that, you get a 2-game suspension without pay, which, by the way, some guys already had the first violation, and they're currently serving it. From the Detroit Lions, a couple other guys, and they actually are back in the league now because they were supposed to be out for, I think, 4 games? I think about 6 games. Now they moved it to a 2-game suspension and then a 6-game suspension. So, again, you have to get to your third suspension on a non-sport, on a non-NFL sports bet from the workplace. 3 of them to get a 1 year, to get that full year suspension. But so there's about, 5 or 6 guys right now that have 6-game suspension that now reduced to 2, but of course they missed 3 games already. So, they get the other 3 games back. If it's 4 weeks, then they get 1 game back. So that's the way it's going right now. You see how it's changed like that, right? Because significant changes to this NFL gambling policy means bigger penalties, including the lifetime ban possibility for betting on the NFL itself. So, you can't push that button now. They really are pushing that hard. Any NFL, even if, of course, if it's insider trading, you could really get banished 1 year, 2 year, your entire career, right? But
it's serious shit.
Yeah, but the reductions for the penalties and discipline for betting on other sports, which you get it, you know what I mean? You get it. Oh, Mr. Montana in the house, Woo. 21 months, Navy Blue crew in the house. I think he's touching all the different levels. What did Mr. Montana 808 have to say with his monthly comment?
A classic. Go Cowboys. Drop him if you got him, guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you, Montana.
That star.
I appreciate you.
Over everything. You know what it is. A star over everything. Much love, Mr. Montana 808 in the house. Mark Hosepian is 65 points in the Stream Boss. So anyways, that's the thing, guys. That's the memo they sent out to every team in the NFL from the NFL itself and from the NFL Player Association. So everyone got this and is now should be on the same page, so to speak. Any quick comments on this or thoughts? I know I saw a couple people in the house.
Yeah, by the way, and again, Raul, what's up? Much love. Rolando Rodriguez, CF. Why can NFL teams tank to get the number 1 pick? Isn't it the same thing to gambling? I mean, I'm just saying. Because
it hurts players' careers, coaches' careers, right? If you tank, you end up like really, just really morphing the whole. It's just going to affect everybody, and there's no player or coach going to accept tanking. That's all. I think it's hard to do that nowadays.
Part of it too is, especially when it comes to the whole gambling part of it, it's just not a good look for the NFL because then people wouldn't have faith in the outcome of the games. Like, it would feel rigged, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. So I just don't think that would be a good look for the NFL if they were to somehow condone players basically altering the outcomes of the games in their favors. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not great. So Motor City Maniac, much love, saying Lions player is back this week.
Yeah, exactly. See, he's one of the guys. Again, it's kind of comes. Hey, Motor City in the house. Much love, bro. Again, I think there's 2 players that were suspended from. I think overall it was 3, but they released the guy. Their guys are back early because of this change of policy. So just wanted to make sure we clear it up. So now there's no excuses. If we know this, the players in the NFL must know this. They got to know it, right?
I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah. So let me see here. No, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any comment here. So
shout-outs, no? We good? Caught up?
By the way, Motor City Maniac said 28 years. Great detective work.
The Tupac thing?
The Tupac thing. I'm like, well, better late than
never,
I
but,
guess.
There's a lot of stuff that people were later on murdered in their own unfortunate gang crimes and stuff like this, and other guys, the cops, kind of some of them passed as well, so... the investigators. So this is a whole thing. It took years and a lot of people not cooperating. So, listen. At least they're getting somewhere finally. But yeah, that's a long time to get the shit done.
Yeah.
I agree. Motor City.
No, just, let me see. Cactus G much up saying, sometimes I really think the Mafia is running the NFL, because that would explain last week.
I don't believe that there's rigged plays or BS going on like that, but there's always an upset. There's always going to be an upset, and that's the one that casino's going to win big. Gambling's going to the mafia would win big. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to happen. It happened to us last week. Us a 12-point. We were 12-point favorites. We lost by 12 points.
Statistically speaking,
that's
so you can occasionally have a 2016 type of season, but you're more likely to have a 2017 type of season.
Yeah.
So sadly, I'm just saying. I wish every year could be more like 2016, but those are the flash in the pan type of situation.
But I don't want 2016, baby. I want
I'm using
1990.
I'm talking regular season type of
I know what you mean. So anyways, guys, as we continue the NFL side of things, Raiders defensive edge rusher Chandler Jones, guys. I mean, we talked about his mental health situation yesterday. Currently, he's in custody in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. I mean, literally after he made these videos yesterday, he has violations of domestic temporary restraining order against him and is he has 2 violations of domestic temporary restraining order and expected to be he was actually released later today, but he was arrested at 11 p.m. last night, so it's about our time here. I guess it's 2 hours later, 3 hours later. So it was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on East Coast time when he was arrested in Vegas, and he was, if I recall from the situation, he was actually filming himself trying to burn his ex-girlfriend's clothing in the backyard, and he was filming himself doing it, and cops are called, and I don't think he burned it, but yeah, I mean the whole point is he needs major.
Seems to have tried.
He needs major,
or intended to.
He needs major mental help, and he said last night that, not last night, I guess yesterday afternoon or that he was going to get off social media and hang out with strippers. I guess he was out burning clothes in his girl's backyard. The point is he needs major mental help, So yeah. So hope the best to him. Now, an interesting little side note here, NFL news. The Buffalo Bills safety Jordan Poyer. He's your starting safety. He is going to make he's ruled out for this game coming up against the Dolphins this weekend. So with that safety being out, guess who has to start now for him this week? Damar Hamlin. Back on the field, in a starting role for the first time. Of course, we know he could have been moments away from being dead on the field last year, or actually at the beginning of this year, right in January.
So
I mean, to me that is another great threshold he's breaking.
I was gonna say it is nice to see him back playing.
Yeah, it's
football.
Incredible.
That to me is even if he's not exactly going to be out there, playing top tier NFL player. Just the fact that he's able to come back and play and contribute in any capacity, and now, that's huge. I love that. And now Damar Hamlin's going to start against the Dolphins this week, so we'll see how that goes for him. Sean McVay. Last note here. This actually is important to the Cowboys in a way because that's when we're going to see the Rams this year. In about a month or so, about a month, right? The end of October. And McVay today said that the Rams' Cooper Kupp will start practicing sometime next week, which indicates that the Rams are going to open the 21-day practice window to then get him activated off IR. So I'm going to guess he'll be back to the Rams when we go there in Dallas to see them on October, 29th? Yeah.
So that that week 8 game we will be there, or week 9 game we're going to be there. We're going to be with the whole family's going to be there for this Cowboy game, and it looks like so will Cooper Kupp, and I'm happy because that means that we get him at full strength. Cowboy defense got to come strong. We're going to be coming strong in that game.
I agree. I want
in the MCF family,
especially considering that the Rams are actually looking, I think, better than most people expected this year.
Yeah, and now adding Cooper Kupp, probably one of the best receivers in the league right now. Although I don't know if I wouldn't call him that, but some people would. He is dangerous when he's fully healthy. He will be that. Should be that in a couple of weeks when we meet him in a month. When we play, he should be fully healthy by then. So the 21-day window will be opened up probably next week. At the very latest, he's probably coming back for our game. So as we keep looking at this and we're getting closer and closer to the first guest speaker, Jerry Jones. But we asked this question, right, on MCF here. After the Cardinals beat us, who's the most responsible for the Cowboys' Week 3 loss? And there was a national poll out there, I think done by NFL Network, and they asked this to the fan. A lot. I'm talking about probably tens of thousands of people voting. Do you remember what our numbers were? Like, not numbers, but you remember who was first?
Penalties ended up winning the top spot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, second was what? Red zone, I think it was?
I think for us, yeah. And then third was the run defense.
And then injuries was last. Last on the list here on this more national kind of vote, 7% went to injuries, which is last place.
All right.
Third place was penalties. Only 11. I mean, again, that's very low compared to our numbers. It was more in the 30s, and this is 11%. But then the top two, red zone issues was number 2.
Oof.
Which 25%.
That one makes sense to me.
I agree, but I guess some people are saying bad coaching and play calling. To me, those are very similar. And I guess they added an extra thing in here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, those are very similar. So, in a sense, that's really the number one answer here. And then run defense got the most by itself in 31%, which was my vote. That was the biggest issue in that game.
You're probably feeling a little bit validated after that, just because, again, I know a lot of back and forth arguments here in that regard, and run defense just kind of kept getting put to the side. And again, I kind of get it, just because with the way that we looked, like, of course people, naturally think that the penalties or our backups, right, were a bigger factor. And I mean, shit, they were definitely a factor, but it's hard to deny that the biggest factor was our entire run defense just basically, taking a break.
Yeah,
not showing up.
I think the way it goes to me, here's the thing. Imagine the game where we actually stop the run. The issues with the red zone, it doesn't seem so significant. It's kind of like in the background again. I'm not saying it hides it, but we know that the defense runs the show here. So when you falter on defense, the red zone now you look at, oh shit, the red zone got to do it every single time, and now it looks like it would on a normal day. You know what I'm saying? And that can't continue. But also you understand why I voted run defense for this game.
Yeah, one of the big things that allowed our team to function properly, right, was the fact that our defense took the pressure off of our offense, so our offense could just kind of do its thing in a more laid-back way. Like, we didn't have that pressure of, like, oh, we have to score. We still went out there and did it, even if it was maybe a field goal and not the touchdown we wanted.
Points was the goal for McCarthy, even if it's field goals. Of course, you want touchdowns. But, yeah, I mean, you're exactly 100%. When you're doing that, that's the way to relieve the pressure, however it is. Now, look, it still means we have to score in the red zone more often. But we had 15 trips. The offense is efficient. And it's doing its kind of job. So the only good thing about this is we find out early how to fix this shit now. Because when the playoffs come, this shit's got to be fixed, or we ain't making the playoffs, and we're getting bounced in the first round if we do. So we got to make sure this shit's fixed now. Anyways, and we're seeing the exposure here. I trust Dan Quinn in stopping the run on a more regular basis. If we do that, I mean, that's it. I think we're back in it again. The offense looks to get 16 to 20 points, whatever. The defense will set us up for another 10 points. We win 30 to whatever. You guys feel me? So yeah, that's the hope here. We got to fix that run defense, and I think everything else comes into place, is my point. Still got to fix the red zone as well, though.
I'm still saying that. It's not like we only have the one singular problem, right? Like, there's a few things that need to be tweaked. But if you had to ask me as far as, like, the number one priority on the offensive side of things, I think the red zone takes
red zone is the biggest
slice
issue
of that,
because we had some run. The first 2 weeks we had some run efficiency issues. We were running for like 3.5 yards per carry, but this last week we were running for like 5.5 yards per carry or 5 yards.
Yeah, so my point is that
more efficient, but we also were running at the end of the game down 2 scores and ran 4 minutes off the clock. We didn't have to. So McCarthy's got to fix some things here. But mainly, play calling, he's pretty all right. He's good. He's doing good in my opinion. The red zone's got to get better in the play calling side, big time. So, who spoke today? The king of the Cowboys right now, who owns the Cowboys, is Jerry Jones, and he, he skipped a day earlier this week. He went on a double.
He usually speaks
Tuesday,
a little bit
right?
to the media, but not really sure what.
He did something. He spoke the other day as well. He did it a day later. Whatever. Maybe he had a surgery or something, or some kind of medical thing. I don't know. But the point is, Jerry Jones spoke today, and he spoke about this guy, Ezekiel Elliott, who's coming to town with the Patriots this week. Zeke, according to Jerry Jones, is being considered for the Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Oh, damn!
Yeah,
I can't believe he's saying that before we've even played him.
He said that before we played him. He compared Ezekiel Elliott playing Sunday at AT&T Stadium to Emmitt Smith coming back to face the Cowboys when he was with the Cardinals. And Jerry Jones said he was holding out hope before Ezekiel Elliott signed with the Patriots that somehow he would return to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that's a lot of high praise. Maybe Jerry Jones is doing the Belichick move. He's like,
True.
Give you the hype and just saying, come in here and we just shut him down. That's the hope. Now, I think Jerry Jones also is about media.
I know.
And about,
he knows. I was say he knows exactly what to say to get the people kind of interested in stuff like that, because comments like that make people say, well, he should be back with the Cowboys, especially with maybe some of the situations that we've had offensively. Like, people are looking to say, like, oh, yeah, Zeke is the answer.
Yeah, the red zone. No, again, we dispelled that already.
We already went into the reason why that's not the case.
That's dispelled.
That doesn't matter. Lots of people, perception is reality in this case, at least in the general Cowboys fandom, right? So for the more casual fan who's just like kind of looking at it like, surface level, they're going to see Jerry saying that and say like, ooh. So that's all.
And another thing I just want to throw in there, what about Jimmy Johnson? To me, that's also in the back of my mind. Like,
that's a real voodoo doll.
He's talking. I think it's Rowdy, the freaking mascot, in my opinion. But I think it's also kind of, I don't want to say disrespectful, because he's not saying that Jimmy Johnson's already been considered and is going to be going into the Ring of Honor one day. But that's per Jerry Jones. He said it would be done sooner than later. It felt like when he said it 2 years ago. But the fact that he's even mentioning Zeke, who's on another team, still playing in the NFL, wearing the other team's uniform, coming into our house. I don't know. Come on, Jerry Jones. Do better. Either way, maybe I'm hoping. I'm going to say this. Let's hope he's giving him the Bill Belichick treatment. I'm going to leave it at that. So,
Jobs at Cowboys said if Zeke gets into the Ring of Honor before Jimmy, that is a further slap in the face.
That's beyond. I think people will protest.
I'm telling you right now, that's almost.
If Jerry makes it that long, I don't know.
Not even that, but I almost guarantee you that's one of the reasons why Jerry even maybe brought it up in the first place. Right? You can't really talk about it now without eventually ending up back at the Jimmy Johnson question.
I agree. Yeah, and it's just that's connected. Until he puts him in the Ring of Honor, that's always going to be connected. And you know who loves that? Jerry Jones. He loves that the hubbub that he causes from that shit.
He does. So Fuego 2.0 said we cut Devin to make room for Hoffman.
Well, yeah, we talked about that last night right here. I'm gonna kind of finish that story up as well in a couple minutes. But anyways.
Yeah, back to you, baby.
Yeah. Continuing with this, again, that's the Zeke comment from the Jerry Jones guy here. But then we also have another comment here from, let me see, I don't know if I have it. Oh, yeah, I do have him in here. From Jerry Jones, but about, he's not here, Mr. Brandon Cooks. Now, interesting little comment he made here. He said this about, because we haven't been using his the speed, I think, of Brandon. We talked about this earlier. So Jerry Jones addressed the question regarding Brandon Cooks' situation. And Jerry Jones said, quote, Brandon Cooks is the real deal. He has speed. We've got to use him. I like that. You got to use him, right? And then Jerry continued by saying, quote, and we are going to use him. He's going to make it better for CeeDee Lamb. He's going to make it better for the tight ends. He's going to be a difference maker for us. Now, we're 3 weeks in the season here. Now going to our fourth. Haven't seen, he's played in 2 games, Brandon Cooks. Haven't seen more than 2 catches for under 20 yards. Or 20 yards, around 20 yards, right?
Waiting for the moment where he starts kind of popping off, him and Dak, so to speak. And, I know it's still super early in the season, but still haven't quite seen that happen yet.
Yeah, it's still, Brandon Cook's been working this whole entire offseason. You can see him here. And, I don't know if it's the scheme that's making him a little bit deficient in it. If it's the fact that, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But I would like to see Brandon Cooks being used on longer routes, kind of stretching the field a little bit more. And let's get some distance between all the receivers so that, it makes it a little bit better for, the offense to move down the field, whether you throw the ball to him or not. Let's see him being more of a difference maker. And that's the thing we've been waiting for. Haven't seen it for 3 weeks. I'm not hating on Brandon Cooks. I'm just saying, I know he's good. I want to make sure McCarthy gets him in the rhythm of things, and Dak checks on him and gets the ball to him as well when he's open. So that's the comment there on Brandon Cooks. And then a couple, I guess you can say, one last kind of double comment here from Jerry Jones. He said this. today on 105 The Fan. He expects rookie defensive tackle Mazi Smith to be, quote, a very outstanding football player that has some of the most unique football attributes that have ever been put on the field. I'm talking about athletic skill as well as strength.
I mean, hey, we love the Mozzie praise, but I think it's a little bit funny coming off of a lot of questions the last 2 weeks of everyone saying, "Oh, where's Mozzie? Where's Mozzie?"
And it's also funny because that is the Jerry Jones hype show. I'm saying I'm not trying to say that Mozzie is not going to be good or something. Listen to what he just said. He said one of the most unique football attributes that have ever been put on the field. That's high praise right there. High goals and high kind of expectations. Jerry Jones has set it up like he's Superman. I think Mozzie's going to be very good in this league. I think he's going to play very good for us. I don't think he's going to bring this once-in-a-lifetime skill set generational thing to our team. And that's where Jerry Jones gets some of the fans sucking on his hype juice. So whatever you want to call it. So I'm just saying. And he continued, because that's what we think about this. The same thing, let's not hear about it. Let's see it. If you're hyping up so much, why is he taking so long? I understand why. Jerry Jones, I don't know if he understands, but he's definitely listening to maybe one of our greatest coaches in history, right? Tom Landry. Which he said this, quoting, kind of referring to Tom Landry, quote, "The great Tom Landry said, don't ever pass judgment on a defensive lineman until you've seen him for 3 years.
Okay. He
will be a big influence for us to our success this year. So again, what Jerry Jones is saying, he's listening to Tom Landry and his comments. Wait to 3 years to see the best of that player at defensive tackle, which, baby, we've been saying that for years here.
Heck, we've saying, just give him at least 1 year. And then, in the sense of, like... But
defensive tackles I'm talking about. Like Tom Landry said, defensive tackles, give them 3 years. Now, we've heard it from other people as well, but we've also been saying that as a big thing. A first rounder, even a first rounder, give them 3 years before they max out. You see their max possible potential. It's not going to be a year one guy showing his max potential on the defensive line. That's per Tom Landry. Still, Jerry Jones literally said, even with all of that, we're going to see some of him this year. Some of that max, I guess you can say. I don't know if it's going to be as consistent as I think until third year, you're going to see that true Mazi Smith, let's say. But Jerry's kind of pushing it even this year. He's saying you're going to see it. So I don't know what you think about that. Don't know what the chat thinks about that, but let me know.
I mean, let me see here. El Fuego 2.0 said, y'all know why Tom Landry was inducted into the Ring of Honor and not Jimmy? I mean,
yeah, Tom Landry is freaking our first head coach, a great head coach for 29 years, set records across Tom Landry is one of the best coaches in the NFL and still the best coach for the Cowboys in our history. There's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
But as far as, the shortest time and the most success is Jimmy Johnson. No doubt there. So I'm just saying there's Tom Landry is the greatest. He's he stands for the Cowboys. You say Tom Landry, it's Cowboys. You say Cowboys, you think Roger Staubach and Tom Landry if you go back to the history.
So Cactus G said they ran a simplified offense in Dak's rookie year. The more offense he's given, the worse that he seems, the worse he does.
Again, I think it's the type of stuff, again, if right now he's given not that much, right? And everybody should be loving this because we're moving down the field, right? To finish the product here as far as the offense, you got to get the red zone clicking. As far as Dak getting more stuff or not, listen, last year, Dak got a lot on his plate. And I think he actually handled it pretty well. He was number one in tight window throws, accurate throws down the field. Take a look at some of the stuff he was doing out there. I think he broke the most sacks in the NFL the last season. Dak Prescott gives you a lot more than you give him credit for. The people out there that hate on him or doubt. Let me just say hate. Let me say doubt him. Still doubting him. He's a top 10 type quarterback in the NFL, and he's also a franchise quarterback. Franchise quarterbacks now get paid $40 million. Even if you think they're average, they get $40 million nowadays. Check the numbers. So anyways, baby. Any other comments on Jerry Jones before we go to his son, Stephen Jones?
Yeah, Uzi said, Jerry Jones is not putting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. Jerry Jones not putting Jimmy in the Ring of Honor is the reason that we'll never win. The Jimmy curse is real.
I also kind of find it not humorous. I find it degrading that he doesn't put Jimmy in, but the reality is that's not the curse. That's not what's happening. We will joke about it, though. We will say that's part of the curse. I think Rowdy, motherfucker, he was put in right after our Super Bowl. That's another curse. maybe solving Tupac's murder, or at least arresting someone that's going to be responsible for his murder.
Yeah,
maybe that breaks the
maybe that breaks it. Curse, right? At this point, I'm willing to solve as many curses as possible to try to make it happen.
Yeah. Now all we gotta do is put Jimmy's got to be in the Ring of Honor. Got to move on that Jerry Jones, and let's axe Rowdy and get a new mascot.
So, let me see. That's awesome, Drums and Cowboys. Landry's hometown is about an hour from his town. So, hey, we should rename the whole town after Tom Landry at this rate. So
yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, so now Jerry Jones, he spoke. He done giving the microphone to old Steve Jones here, as he hates to be called Steve. I call him Steve. Stephen Jones was asked on 105 through the fans a couple of things, and one of those was a potential red zone package, maybe later in the season, for Trey Lance. Now, I had mentioned this earlier about red zone. Deuce Vaughn, Cavante Turpin, let's use those guys. I said, what if they even use Trey Lance on some packages, whether with Dak or as the only quarterback out there? So that's an interesting question. Still, why would they ask this question? They were kind of saying, would you use him out there instead of Dak? Basically, was the question, and basically assuming that, hey, let's use Trey Lance's running ability, which you had said we should use Dak's running ability.
Yeah,
especially in the red zone, which would help.
And remember, that doesn't mean, start using Dak like a freaking running back. It just means that we need teams to know that threat exists.
Right. Respect the run from Dak.
And act accordingly.
Exactly.
That's it.
So when you look at what Stephen Jones' question was, basically Trey Lance's running ability in the red zone, with Dak, without Dak, here's what Stephen Jones said, quote, "Well, we feel great about Dak. Dak is all raring and ready if we want to turn him loose. But this is a long season, and he would be up for it. But he also knows the best way we can win football games is Dak playing quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys." So, do you understand what's being said there? No? I don't know if you caught that.
I mean, he basically just said that, Dak still gives us the best chance here, right?
Yeah, but it's not about that. Because they were using saying about the running ability of Trey Lance. And he was saying that Dak is going to be the guy that's ready to go and run the ball himself. He wants to run the ball, Dak. That's what he's saying. But if they turn him loose to do that.
So it sounds like it's a coaching decision to
it
not
sounds
cut
like
him loose,
it sounds
right?
like either coaching or a front office
and
decision.
At least Steven is implying that Dak himself is also like, hey,
let me run.
Run me.
Let me run.
Which at least in that sense, that's the first time we've heard it from at least not directly from Dak, but I'm just saying, like, the last thing we heard from Dak himself was actually a comment more towards the opposite, right?
Yeah. So
that's why I'm a little surprised to hear that.
Dak is raring and ready if we want to turn him loose, but this is what Stephen Jones said. I'm going to reread it for you. Mm-hmm. This is a long season.
Uh-huh.
But he would still be up for it, but he also knows the best way we can win football games is Dak playing quarterback for the Cowboys. So keeping him healthy from injury.
Yeah, and not even that, but not worth the risk of
injury.
Something happening there.
And that could be Dak, I guess. It could be Mike McCarthy. It could be the front office paying him the $40 million. They don't want to have their $40 million guy getting used so much in the run game.
Even I admit that it's probably a multi-factor decision, right? It'd be, I think, small and reductive to say, like, oh, it's only because they paid him. It's like, it's not only because they paid him. So that's all.
Yeah, and again, that's interesting words right there, I would say, from Stephen Jones with the Dak background stuff there. Now, one last thing from Stephen. I guess we're going to get into the injuries now. We're almost there, guys, and we're getting to the matchup breakdown here in a minute. But as we come to let me finish with Stephen Jones. He said this on 105 through the Fan, because as you guys kind of going to know here in a minute, if you didn't read the title, you're going to know Tyron Smith is out for this game against the Patriots. So Matthew Judon's going to be attacking that left tackle spot. But Stephen Jones said this on 105 through the Fan about the injury to Tyron Smith. The Cowboys, he made it clear, are not considering putting Tyron Smith on injured reserve.
Okay.
When you hear that, you're like, oh shit, so it's worse than maybe it was first told on us here, right?
That also seems to obviously imply that they're hoping he's going to be better before that.
Before the 4 weeks, yeah.
I mean, we all know Tyron Smith, right? Like, not saying he couldn't be, just saying that it's probably going to be very close.
Yeah, I mean, Tyron Smith, best shape of his life, right? So Stephen Jones said this about not putting him on IR, and Tyron Smith's knee. Quote, it's probably another week. He'll continue to progress. Feels like he's getting better. Again, feels like he's getting better. Man, it's like they're going on feels here. They're saying probably one more week. Figure out it's 2 more weeks. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But either way, not good news on that side of things when it comes to injuries. Now, Mike McCarthy stepped up to the plate as well. Talked today. He said he's, quote, optimistic about Zach Martin, right guard, and center Tyler Biadasz's availability Sunday at home against the Patriots. Of course, yesterday we know they participated in the practice, full pads. Today they had a walkthrough. Mike McCarthy said that they participated in the full walkthrough today. And again, obviously you practice Saturday, you play Sunday.
Yeah.
They're expected to practice Saturday, expected to be on the field. We'll talk about the injury report in a minute,
good.
but that looks good for them. He said, quote, once we cross that threshold, we'll confirm it, but we're very hopeful, end quote. A lot of things are relying on also today's report, so I'll get to that in a minute. But then he spoke about Tyron Smith. And he said Tyron Smith did work with the rehab group again. Yesterday he was on the field when the people were when the reporters were out there. But today he did work with the rehab group and did not participate in the team's mock game. That puts him on the out kind of list. He didn't announce it yet, but we know that's what's going to happen. One other guy I want to discuss here, just real quick, baby. And McCarthy didn't really talk about him. Well, actually, McCarthy did. Devin Harper. We released him yesterday from the 53-man roster.
Yeah, and
had to go through waivers.
A few of you guys by surprise.
Yeah, the cutting of him yesterday shocked some people. I don't think it was that big of a deal as far as shocking, but the point is, the Cowboys are obviously hoping to get him back, right, today. Mike McCarthy said, quote, my goal is to keep all of our players, but sometimes you have to make moves based on other personnel needs.
Which, again, we know that the O-line situation is probably what McCarthy was implying there, since it was it Hoffman?
Yeah, Brock. Right? Brock Hoffman is out of elevations. We cannot use him anymore in games unless we put him on the 53.
You can only elevate a player from the practice squad 3 times before 3 strikes and you're out. That's it. You either got to keep him or you got to move on.
Yeah, you keep him on your roster on your practice squad, but he can never play again unless he's signed to the 53. Which looks like it's going to happen because, again, today, unfortunately, guys, first and foremost, the Cowboys were saying that they wanted to keep Devin Harper on the practice squad and pick him up. The Cincinnati Bengals claimed him today. They picked him up, guys. They signed him off of waivers. The Cowboys had hoped to re-sign him to the practice squad if he cleared. He did not clear waivers. The Bengals put a bid for him and picked him up. So they were guys watching out there. So, again, now the next move expected tomorrow officially. So you guys know it's going to happen. We're going to sign a center tomorrow, number 67, Brock Hoffman. All right? He's going to get signed to the 53-man roster. Linebacker Malik Jefferson, who we also thought could be a guy. He's our only other linebacker on the roster outside of LVE and Damone Clark and, of course, Micah Parsons. But actually listed as linebackers right now, LVE, Damone Clark, and no more Devin Harper. Now it's only Malik Jefferson, and that's including practice squad. So I'm telling you right now, the 2 elevations, it would have to be an offensive lineman, which we don't have to do anything either right now, right? With an offensive lineman, because we have Hoffman now in there, and we could move up Malik Jefferson tomorrow for his first elevation. So I believe, again, CJ Goodwin, he's not elevated yet, I don't think, on the 53-man roster. So CJ Goodwin is another guy that maybe you can see him move in there, but I think we'll move up a Malik Jefferson if he's ready to go, because he was going to make the 53 instead of this guy. He, because of Jefferson's injury, they had to keep somebody else, and they kept Devin Harper to make sure. And now that Malik Jefferson's ready to come back, and again, Harper's gone. They wanted him to switch places. The Bengals stopped that from happening. But point is, Malik Jefferson is going to be a standard elevation, in my opinion. The only way we can move another guy is if he's an offensive lineman. And Brock Hoffman will be signed to the 53-man roster to be the backup to Tyler Biadasz. So, and again, I got to reiterate about Brock Hoffman. He's 74%, I think 74 rating on a pass blocking side of things at center last week against the Cardinals. So, first game, good job for him. Didn't do too bad run blocking either. So, the Cowboys like what they saw, and he's a solid backup, I guess, now officially. You know what I mean? So
good.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me here. So,
all right, at least good for him.
Well, let's kind of look at the injury report here as we get down to it. I'll get to that in a minute. So we just talked about Devin Harper. I do want to make sure to remind everybody. Oh, there you go. Reminding me is Jason Renfro, 8-cent holler right there. The first.
Thank you, Jason.
Hey, that's the first drop of the night, guys.
Kicking things off officially here. I appreciate you, Jason, with the $8 holler and a Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you. As always, Go Cowboys.
Ooh.
I was going to say, make sure you let everybody know.
Oh, hey, awesome, Jason. Enjoying your family reunion there.
Hey,
so.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And he also got his card.
Technically, this weekend is also a family reunion for the Cowboys.
He also got there it goes. Mr. Malcolm Williams wins the gifted membership from Jason Renfro. The 108 holler. And then the one gifted membership. Now he's at the field goal mark. He's 2 back, a safety back, and a tie, a field goal for the lead on that gifting membership side of things. And he's getting closer into second place there. He's in third right now. I'll have to double check the numbers there and fix things here on the board. Yeah, much love, Jason Renfro. Jason. Yes, kicking things off
officially there.
Yes, officially official. I want to remind everybody all those things now. Not just that's how way you can gift memberships. So
of course, yeah. You have a variety of ways, right? Like dropping the love the way Jason Renfro did there, sharing the memberships, right? Super chats. You have the Streamlabs that lets your comments show up on screen. You have the Cash App, Money's Time, MyCowboysFamily, all that good stuff. But of course, you also have the one thing everybody can do. Hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
People representing the board. Much love to Snug X, who has a takeover and is currently the leader on not just the representative on the
sponsor of the week, right? He's also repping it 7 weeks in a row in the Cash App, Trayvon Diggs style, of course. I'm actually, who is leading it so far the Cash App?
Snug X.
This week? Oh, shit.
You're going for 8.
You go. Sorry, I forgot about that. I didn't know.
How dare you, baby?
You know, I'm not always on top of that. I know who's repping the current boards, but I don't know who's necessarily leading the current boards all the time. So Jason Renfro, I know, is trying to say, hold up, wait a minute, let me put $1.60 in it. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate you. Another Go Cowboys.
Yeah, actually looking at the board, baby, he's Snug X actually jumped in front of him, but Jason Renfro jumped back over him, and he's trying to come for that second place spot, getting closer and closer. A Go Cowboys from Jason Renfro.
Ooh. Thank you again. And by the way, Angelina Cervantes said, as soon as we have full strength of the O-line, then you'll see us cook.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In the red zone, that's where the cooking needs to happen, the red zone area. And that's where I think it will happen. That's where I believe once we get that, imagine if, again, guys, we got to the red zone how many times last week? 5 times? If we had scored 4 out of the 5 times and kicked the field goal, how many points is that? 31 points, we win. And that's with zero help from the defense. Zero help.
Exactly. Everything else can go exactly the way that it already did. Just tweak that one little thing, right?
I'm just saying, like, if we had scored that's why the offense needs to help us. But imagine if this defense plays normal. Not like that, whatever they played against the Cardinals. If they play normal, we win with 22 points, which is all we would have gotten from the offense. That's all we needed from them. If the defense would have played their usual way.
I agree. So, by the way, Retro Scotty, glad to see that you're feeling better. So,
yes.
Projected starting O-line this week, said Drums and Cowboys.
Well, and again, that's where we're getting to. A great time to.
I was going to say, yeah. And I will say it's a little bit tricky because, like you kind of touched on, right? Tyron Smith, all of a sudden, no longer good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we kind of get back on things, guys, Tyron Smith, the name that you want to see, unfortunately, we were hoping it'd be good. He was in pads last week for this Arizona game, couldn't play, and then we were at like the last second. He's not playing this week, guys. He's out officially. Did not practice all week. Rehab group the whole week. Out this week. I'll say a couple things about that in a minute. Let me go through the rest of the injury list here, because then you have a couple of questionable guys as far as ready to go or not. But it's great news, questionables. Let me put it that way, because you got Zach Martin. Guys, the great news about Zach Martin is that he's questionable for the game. That's the bad news. But he's made a lot of progress this week. Went from, not practicing to limited the rest of the week. And we know if he practices tomorrow, he's good to go. He's good to go.
Didn't he speak yesterday and kind of...
Yeah, he said he's good.
Yesterday or the day before? I saw it was
2 days ago, I think. But I think it was 2 days.
That was on Thursday.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Actually, it was.
Yeah,
but he still said he's good to go as long as he practices. He's out there.
Yeah,
he's
he just
playing.
said the number one thing is that he also said that he was just feeling better than he was before.
Yeah.
So that to me is huge.
Questionable for the game. That usually means that he'll, with this situation, that he should play this fucking game. If he doesn't, I'll be very disappointed. We'll be in much bigger trouble at that point. The other guy that's great news about, even though he is questionable, is Tyler Biadasz, our center. So yeah, we got Brock Hoffman as he's going to be our backup on the 53. But now you have Tyler Biadasz, our center, with this hamstring issue, same as Zach Martin. Full practice yesterday. Not full practice, limited practice yesterday, but it's full pads. He did not practice on Wednesday like Zach Martin. They worked him back the same way, same limited yesterday and today, and that's okay because he's listed as questionable. All signs point to him playing, no setbacks, and as long as he practices tomorrow, he's good to go, and that's the expectation he will. Now, I did want to say a couple other guys. Of course, CeeDee Lamb, DeMarcus Lawrence, they were on there for one day, a veteran rest day, and now, of course, they're good to go. Same thing with Tony Pollard yesterday. He was limited. They just rested him a little bit. He's good to go for the game, obviously. There's only a couple other guys here I'm going to talk about. Chuma Edoga, who was fully clear today, guys. He was at full practice. He was limited all week. Full practice today. No injury status. So he's going to be playing, looks like to me, the Tyron Smith spot. But I'll talk about him in a minute because now he is available to be utilized. And the only other guy, which was a kind of interesting thing, and I don't know how this will affect us going forward in this game, is tight end Peyton Hendershot, who has an ankle injury and was limited in practice. That usually means probably someone rolled it, he tweaked it, he twisted it, sprained it, whatever you want to call it. They held him out the rest of practice. We'll have to know more tomorrow. But again, if he don't practice, he ain't playing. That means the Cowboys, you got to keep an eye on another tight end maybe to be up, maybe elevated somehow or something going on with the tight end where we might have to bring another guy on if Hendershot is going to miss this game. So something to think about.
Yeah, I know for me, I am personally not the happiest about it, but I know there's some people out there who are like very, very excited about that news.
About what? Hendershot?
Yeah, just the possibilities there, just because, again, gives other guys maybe a chance to step it up or do a little
Schoonmaker got to do it even more, but my point is, to me, it's more of a fear of who else do we have? There's no McEwen. Does that mean that...
to me is a little bit more where
where's Lipke? Was Lipke get used there?
Kind of curious to see what they can do.
No 3 tight ends this game.
So
it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do. That's an important thing to watch. Tomorrow we'll know more about what's going on with that. So, that is more important than we're giving it credit for when it comes to Peyton Hendershot's ankle injury, which we don't know much about. Now let me go back to the situation when it comes to the guy we know that's definitely out. And that's Tyron Smith for the Sunday game. So Tyron Smith, number one, with him being out, that's 22 straight games without the starting 5 offensive linemen for the Cowboys. 22 straight games. Just incredible. And he was playing well in the first 2 games of the season. Tyron Smith was rolling out there. He was, again, when he's on the field, he's looking great. But the inability to have availability has been always his issue. Are you surprised?
I mean, at this rate,
I'm
not anymore.
No one's surprised.
I used to be surprised.
Yeah, no one's surprised.
It's been a few years.
No one is surprised
like that.
No one is surprised anymore. This has been going on for 7-8 years. Every year he gets hurt. So that's why I've always said we got to have our 6th offensive lineman because he needs to be a starter because this guy's going down. So our starter to me is Tyler Smith. I want to see him at left tackle, and then you move Chuma Edoga back to left guard, which he did very well.
I was just about to say, Richard, Scotty, and I were literally just saying in the chat, the last thing we want to see is Chuma at left tackle again. That's it.
Well, I got bad news. I got bad news for you guys, and I'm going to explain it here. I'm telling you what I want. Retro Scotty said what he wants. You said it. Everybody wants this, but not Mike McCarthy. And this would be something we look at Mike McCarthy and can say this could be another mistake. This could be your way out of here if you fuck this up. But here's the thing. With Tyron Smith ruled out for the game, Tyler Smith, he spoke about this, and he said he has received no work at the tackle spot, at the left tackle spot. No, Tyler Smith, no left tackle work this week in practice. And he even said, I'd be very surprised if anyone, he said, I'd be as surprised as anyone if I played left tackle on Sunday. So,
the Cowboys are not planning on taking advantage of some of that wonderful flexibility they have by putting their best player out there.
I mean,
they
get these guys for flexibility, and then they don't use them on the offensive line. The thing is, we'll see what really happens, if it's just, BS or not. But, I mean, he said also he doesn't lie. He's not lying. So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he is lying and just trying to throw off Bill Belichick. I don't know.
Nah.
But I'm not holding my breath. The thing I think is another option here is Austin Richards. I think he's a guy that could be maybe ready to go in the game and just surprise some people by going in there. He looked really good in preseason. He looked good in training camp. So, Austin Richards, they're going to try him out there if Chuma can't hack it anymore. Chuma did have, a couple good games, I think, I would say, at left guard, 2 in a row. But now the Cowboys are not doing that. They're keeping Tyler Smith at left guard, and they're putting kind of either Chuma Edoga, in my opinion, or Austin Richards. One of these two guys are going to start left tackle. I can't sit here and say I want or I'm hoping. I can't say, hey, Retro Scotty, you're right because you are right to me, but you're wrong to the Cowboys, and I'm wrong too. They don't want us. I mean, they do not want to put in too much movement on that offensive line.
Right or wrong,
this
is just the decisions that they're making. They're choosing stability, it seems like, and I use that word very loosely here, right? Because there's somebody hurt every week. What kind of stability do you think there is?
Good point.
Outside of that, it seems like they're trying to avoid moving guys around as much as possible once they kind of have a primary assignment, right? So even though Tyler Smith could absolutely do the left tackle, job, and absolutely would do it way better than Chuma, they don't want to mess with whatever they've got going on with him at left guard. So, hey, I guess that's that, right?
Again, what was the first thing Mike McCarthy said his first season in 2020 with the Cowboys? We had a lot of offensive line issues that year. We had a lot of injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Remember what he said? He'd rather not switch guys because he wants continuity. But yet, he wants versatility and flexibility. All these abilities. But he's not. Continuity overruns all these other things. I don't know. The whole point of having Tyler Smith is to use his flexibility and ability to move in and outside. That's the whole fucking point. Now you say, listen, just because he didn't take any snaps doesn't mean he's not going to play. But again, he's saying he'd be surprised. We'll see what happens. When it comes to Tyler Smith moving at left tackle. Any other comments on this before we turn the page and move on down to the opponent, the Patriots, and the matchups we got to win?
Let me see. Clark motherfucking Kent, what's up?
In the house.
Cassie Stewart, much love. Let me see. Thomas Garrett said, this is where we will miss John Stevens.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, brother. That's 100% true right there.
No, we kind of touched a little bit on every other comment
McEwen is on the
here.
So I'm assuming maybe McEwen is another guy that can elevate. If it's a serious injury, you might see Hendershot on IR for 4 weeks, and then McEwen on our 53, which McEwen's been on our 53 the last couple of years, so it's not like a complete surprise there either. Let's keep that in mind when it comes to Hendershot, right? I mean, what do you think about that possibility? The fact that if it's an injury that's maybe if it's an injury of a couple of weeks for Hendershot, put him on IR for 4 weeks, bring up McEwen for this game, and you solve the problem. I mean, McEwen is our number 3 is fine.
I agree, but it also depends because, the Cowboys, if it's like a 3-week possibility,
they're going to try to squeeze him back on there.
They absolutely will. So, especially because he's the guy that they want, which I think is the better way of putting it, because that gives him some extra motivation to try and make sure that he's back, exactly as soon as possible. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at the practice squad here, and you're seeing the tight ends, Sean McEwen and Princeton Fant. So I guess you have 2 options here to move up. Of course, a couple moves already done on this roster here, guys. We know, but Brock Hoffman's off of this, and we do have an extra spot on this here. So now that we brought Hoffman off, so again, tight end wise, it's going to be McEwen that gets up there with the 53. If something's really wrong with Hendershot this week, and again, an ankle probably not something to play with. But if the Cowboys are extra cautious, he'll be on IR. This might be literally tomorrow. I'm telling you guys the future, possibly. Depends how serious this is. But if it's anything that keeps him out for 2-3 weeks, put him on IR for 4 weeks, and let's get McEwen in there. Hendershot hasn't done enough, in my opinion, has not done enough to warrant, hobbling our tight ends position. With now only 2 and that's a big part of our offense. According to McCarthy, I don't fuck around with that. We got to have 3 solid guys in there, not 2.5.
So, by the way, Cassie Stewart said, Tyron Smith just needs to suck it up, man up, and just play, because he's always injured.
Yeah, he's past that point of his career. I mean, I think he'll do his best to get on that field, but the medical staff don't want to do it. They don't want him injured for the rest of the season. It's a long season.
Yeah, the Tyron Smith can do that in, like, the postseason. Right? He can do that in the playoffs and beyond.
Yeah. So, I guess we keep it going? I guess we can. Yes, no?
Let me see. Last comment here. I'll read out loud. Drums and Cowboys said, we went from confidence the way the 49ers fan to have to uncertainty and doubt. That's the worst thing from the Cardinals game.
Yeah.
We better come out dominant against the Raiders.
The Raiders.
So, Patriots. Sorry.
Yeah, baby. I mean, that's the team we're playing now. The Deflatriots, actually, as I like to call them. Yeah, again, agree 100%. It's the unfortunate situation here, downside of getting your asses handed to you by a team that you should have handled. But yeah, this game here against the Patriots is really it's got to be a bounce back game for the Cowboys at home in a big way. Now the Patriots themselves have a bunch of guys that are limited in practice and on their injury report. The good news for them, Sidy Sow, offensive lineman, a depth guy, a backup guard. He was limited. He was limited all week until today. He was not. He was actually full go in practice, and he's no designation. So he will give them a little depth if needed, which they will need because Cole Strange, their left, I think it's a left guard, has a knee issue. It's been bothering him the whole week. Limited. I think it's been longer than a week, and he's questionable for this game. It's something to keep an eye on because the word is he's been dealing with this issue for a while, this knee issue, and this is something that they're not going to play with either. Something similar you could say to Tyron Smith in a way. So Cole Strange, questionable for this game. Now Jonathan Jones, another guy that I said keep watching, he was limited all week, today as well, questionable for the game. Devon Godcho, ankle issue, limited all week, also questionable for the game. And Christian Barmore, who's a guy we're going to be watching inside trying to stop the run, knee issue as well, limited all week, also questionable for the game. And today they actually had another injury, kind of like a Peyton Hendershot injury, right? So this guy hurt his shoulder. Sean Wade, the cornerback for the Patriots, he was limited in practice, questionable for the game tomorrow, same as Hendershot style thing there. So they have 5 players listed as questionable, including that starting left guard, John Strange, and their starting cornerback, Jonathan Jones. To watch on the inactive list tomorrow, Sunday. Again, Jonathan Jones missed 2 games with a bad ankle, I think it was, right? So, yeah. So, anyways, by the way, in the practice today for the Patriots, just a little side note I thought was interesting, it was pouring rain. And, again, there's a reporter out there who forgot his umbrella. He was in the rain reporting. It was kind of funny. But the bigger deal to me is the way that old Patriot Bill kind of conducts practice in the mindset. There's no rain in Dallas. He could have went inside. He did. He said, "No, you're gonna practice in the fucking rain, sloppy rain." Maybe that's why Sean Wade got hurt with the shoulder. I don't know. But the point is, practice in the rain. This is the mindset and the coaching philosophy and mindset.
Belichick. The toughness, the mental toughness. Yeah. So I get that for Belichick, but in case
that's
anybody,
a risk of injury,
kind of forgot or something, guys, AT&T Stadium, if it's raining, the roof will just be closed.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Belichick knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Trust me on that.
Maybe he forgot, though. He is getting up there.
He didn't forget shit. So when you look at this game against the Patriots, I'll throw up another kind of picture here, just highlighting their cheating ways. Look at their offensive stats real quick. And I'm gonna talk to the Cowboys as well here. I guess I could just throw up this up here. I guess you can say. But their offense, for example. On offense, maybe they're averaging 17.3 points per game. Their offense. Our defense is giving up 12.7. They're averaging 107 rushing yards per game. We're allowing 131. That's not good. Now, they're passing for 235. We're allowing only 130. And they currently, as far as their offense is concerned, and they're really their team, they don't really get turnovers, and they definitely lose turnovers. So they're at -2 with the turnover rate. Our Cowboys, we're +6. We also don't turn over the ball too often, and we get that ball. So, again, you can see the imbalance there. Our defense should handle them. It's just about the run game and Zeke. So you got to, and what's his name? The other running back. I forgot his name. Damn it. I can't believe I forgot his name. But to me, it's one of the major things here. It's Ramondre Stevenson. So keep an eye on him as well. This run game, got to stop them. Now, flipping it over the other way around, you're looking at their defense versus our offense. And, I look at the numbers here. We're getting 28.7 points per game. They're allowing 19.7. We're rushing for 147 per game. They're allowing 93.3. So they are solid. I mean, solid stopping the run, guys. Keep that in mind. Very good at stopping the run. Passing yards, we're only hitting 207 passing yards per game. They're allowing only 177. Again, solid pass defense. And when it comes to the total yards in the game, right? Total yards, Cowboys are hitting at 262 total yards offense against this defense, and they're hitting at 270.3 yards per game. So they're actually a better offense yardage-wise right now, even if they don't have much on offense. So you're seeing the kind of situation between both these teams. When you look at the offense real quick, I'll give you a couple quick overviews here. Very little misdirection used by them. Very little misdirection. Lots of power runs, a lot of delayed draws. A lot of delayed kind of like he's going to throw, hands it off to the running back. So there's that kind of stuff. There's a lot of pre-snap motion. Something we need to do more of. They have a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, 21 personnel. So they use their tight ends, they use their fullback or other running backs. Their right tackle, number 59, Verderian Lowe. He's a guy that lets guys. He's not a very good offensive lineman. So the right tackle, number 59. I could talk about him more. You'll see me talk about Micah Parsons, obviously one of the keys in this matchup situation. But Verderian Lowe, number 59, their right tackle, turnstile. Just get right in there. Now, left guard Cole Strange, I already talked about him. He struggles with power, though. If he plays, he's going to hurt. Already have an injury. He struggles with power. The Jets had a lot of interior pressure. And then, when you look at getting the ball out quickly for this team, Mac Jones, he doesn't hold that ball too long. So he does kind of, he knows how to get the ball out quick. It's kind of part of their offense. And again, a guy who, under pressure, will make mistakes. Under pressure, and I don't mean pressure, I mean actually without having a clean pocket, he will throw inaccurate passes. So that's the offensive kind of quick look. Defensive quick look, cornerbacks. Like Gonzalez here, Christian Gonzalez, number 6. He plays off coverage quite a bit. He plays a lot of off coverage, not a lot of, like man and press coverage. Not a lot of press coverage for him. He plays off. I shouldn't say man. He could play man, but he's a lot of off coverage. So you got linebacker. I talked about these guys. They're not the best. They're a little slow. One's too slow. He makes great tackles. The other guy makes great tackles, but he has bad instincts. The way you look at the defensive linebackers for them, number 8, Jawan Bentley, and Anthony Jennings, number 33, they definitely have issues, but they also are, I would say, even to an extent, underrated. They're very active linebackers. Of course, when you look at their defensive front, you got Matthew Judon, number 9. He gets a lot of praise. He got 4 sacks. Micah's got 4 sacks. But number 55 is the guy to watch. Believe it or not. Watch 55. We got to keep him quiet. Josh Uche. He's having a great start to his season right now. And I'm going to go back to the cornerback, specifically number 6 on your screen. Christian Gonzalez, who's been very, very good. They've been kind of hinting they're going to travel with CeeDee Lamb. Again, he doesn't play well in the slot. Something to watch. We'll talk about that a little bit more. He's played 160 or more snaps out wide. And he has less than 20 snaps in the slot. Imagine going against the best slot receiver. That's the mismatch for CeeDee Lamb with their best cover guy in the slot. So Miles, I think what his name is, their nickel cornerback, who's very, very, allows about 70% completion rate against them, Miles Bryant. Number 27, that's going to be the guy we're going to have to see, against CeeDee Lamb most of this game, not Christian Gonzalez. If he does, Christian Gonzalez is setting himself up for a downfall there, you can say. So what are some of the matchups, the more specific key matchups we're going to quickly go over here? The key ones to watch. How about this? Against this defense, I want to know your input here.
Yeah.
But the red zone Cowboy offense, our Cowboy offense against the Patriots red zone defense. Let me explain. This is basically Mike McCarthy versus Bill Belichick. This is the two brains and the most important parts that they have the most influence in right now.
And even outside of that, this is kind of Mike McCarthy's redemption too, right?
Exactly.
After that horrific performance in the red zone this past week, like we kind of have to make a bit of a comeback here in this situation. So every appearance in the red zone counts.
We've reached the red zone, a league high, 15 times in 3 weeks. But we ranked 27th in red zone offense. We score a touchdown 40% of the time. 10 times get down there, score 4 touchdowns. That's horrible. Horrible. 27th in the NFL. Look at their red zone. Their red zone defense. They are ranked 21st in red zone defense.
All right.
They give up about 66.7% of red zone trips. They give up touchdowns. So, this is the key. This is a major key. Our red zone offense got to get tweaked by McCarthy. We're only at 40%. They allow 67% of touchdowns when teams reach the red zone. We must score when we get in the fucking red zone. You guys feel me? It's not just because I'm saying it because we got to do it to overcome horrible odds. This is a weak red zone defense. Mike McCarthy, this is on you. Whichever team wins this battle gets the W, probably. That's how important this shit is. And in the red zone, guys like Jake Ferguson, number 87, who's having a great year as a run blocker. Do you know, baby, according to PFF, he's the number 2 run blocking tight end in the NFL with a grade of 80.0. That is second best tight end blocking in the NFL. So in the red zone, even more impactful. Taking on Uche, 55 there. Taking on number 9, when it comes to all of their defensive guys to kind of really watch. Specifically, their best guys, Matthew Judon, Uche. We need the blocking on the red zone spot side of things from Jake Ferguson. So, just, I don't know, any thoughts?
I mean, obviously we want to make sure that we have decent blocking when it comes to our tight end situation, but yeah, that's a little bit complicated. Now, I wanted to actually hit up the chat a little bit here since we haven't had the chance to do so, and trying to focus on what you're saying here. So, Jubsy Cowboy said, I'm going to throw stats out the window these next few weeks because we have to have consistency before statistical breakdowns, and Belichick plays chess.
He does do that, and he can suck. They're still dangerous, and they don't suck.
Yeah, Bama fan said, "Do better, Big Mike." So exactly. And again, honestly, this feels like obviously there's a few kind of personnel matchups and stuff like that, but I think it still comes down to the first thing that you said. It's going to be Belichick versus McCarthy, and at least in McCarthy's specific case, it's going to be McCarthy versus McCarthy in the red zone. Yeah, like that's we got to we cannot beat ourselves again the way that we did this past week.
As we go down the field, we moving down the field, right? So another big matchup.
Like the offense moving the chains is not even the problem.
Yep,
right?
It's the red zone.
It's not like we're getting stuck the way that we were kind of in seasons past, where we basically were counting on big explosive plays to make up for the lack of our offense really moving anywhere, right? Like It felt like there was no in between, right? We either had those big plays to help make up for it, or we had 3 and out. No, like that's it.
Yeah, and as moving down the field, I'm trying to kind of give in there another offensive kind of viewpoint here before you flip it over. Another key in this game, not just the red zone offense, but it's going to be CeeDee Lamb, as we said last night when we talked about the defense for them, versus Christian Gonzalez. If he moves around the field and he's in the slot, CeeDee Lamb's got to take advantage of him because this guy don't play in the slot too often. He's a rookie as well, but he's the defensive rookie of the month for September, so he ain't messing around. So let's keep that in mind. Patriots secondary has been banged up early in this season overall, but their first round pick, Christian Gonzalez, has played better than expected, you can say. All right, he's going to probably shadow CeeDee Lamb on the outside. I don't think he's going to be in the slot. Again, that'll be Miles Bryant doing that. But again, this is one of the best matchups that could help sway the game, truly one way or the other. If we don't hear CeeDee Lamb's name too much, and Christian Gonzalez is covering him, he's doing his job. If we hear a lot of CeeDee Lamb, whoever's covering him, Christian Gonzalez or the other guys, CeeDee Lamb's having their, eating their lunch. So
yeah, now it's a matter of figuring out like what is the reason, right? Is it we don't really see it, so it's like a scheme thing, right? McCarthy didn't scheme it right. If is it
or they take him out?
CeeDee Lamb is somehow losing that battle. Now it's like a CD thing. Dak is missing the ever living shit out of him. Now it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's different factors here, but. I mean, we still have to see that matchup.
I'm interested.
We definitely have to see us take advantage of that.
I agree.
Matchup.
That's part leads me to the interest I have in seeing Dak Prescott. Will he challenge Christian Gonzalez, and how often will he? Especially when CeeDee Lamb's, the guy he's covering. So
I personally think so, just because we saw Dak take some.
Oh yeah, he took chances.
Definitely risky shots. Right, the last few weeks. So why wouldn't he risk it now when it's even more favorable to us?
Yeah, I mean, he has one pick this year. I guess you can attack. I don't mind attacking if he's confident. CeeDee's confident. They're on the same page. We're good. Despite their 1-2 record, I mean, this team could also be they're not powerhouse, but they could definitely have a better record, guys. Their defense has yet to give up a 100-yard receiver, which is our big issue when it comes to touchdowns from receivers. We have no touchdowns from a receiver. I think that changes this week, but. Either way, they have not given up a 100-yard wide receiver, or I'm sorry, a 100-yard receiving game by anybody. Let's just make it clear. And they've battled some real tough wide receivers, like I said last night, Tyreek Hills, and I mean, the Dolphins had two guys. I think the Jets had, of course, Gardner. What's that? Garrett. What's it? Garrett Rodgers.
Sorry, you said Garrett. I almost said Miles Garrett. I'm like, that's
no, Garrett Rodgers. No, I'm saying he's been facing some of the best guys out there. So, of course, like A.J. Brown and, Devontae Smith. So, they've been facing some real tough matchups at receiver. They get more tough matchups now this game against the Cowboys. So, it's going to be a good test for them. I'm looking to see how the Cowboys kind of attack this defensive back end, the backfield. But Christian Gonzalez is the guy that's going to be matched up a lot on CeeDee Lamb. And through the first 3 games in the NFL, Gonzalez has succeeded in slowing down, multiple Jalen Waddle, another guy of these receivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use them in this matchup. So now we're flipping this over. Let's flip it over. And let's get to the offense real quick of our defense versus their offense. Let's put it that way. And the first guy on the list here, the first matchup we're discussing here is Micah Parsons versus this freaking offensive line. Let me explain. He's not LT, of course, as Belichick made clear, but Micah Parsons has already established himself as probably the most disruptive defensive player in the league since he got here in 2021 to the Cowboys in the NFL, and also, of course, got his first NFC Defensive Player of the Month ever, just this month in September. So, dominating month for Micah Parsons. Now, specifically the matchup in this one, Trent Brown, their left tackle. That's probably one of the better blockers out there. Micah Parsons able to add another quarterback sack last week in a game that really was limited with quarterback sack opportunities. But he's going to get back, hopefully, to even a more dominant look this week, in my opinion, just like the first couple of weeks against the Patriots. Not going to be easy against Trent Brown, all right? He's, the highest-ranked offensive tackle in Week 3, Trent Brown. So something to keep an eye on there. If Micah gets through him, because they're going to probably leave him on a lot more one-on-ones because he did so well. Good. I hope they put a lot. I think even the best offensive lineman one-on-one probably going to have Micah have a big game. So I think Micah Parsons is gonna have his opportunities against Trent Brown. Again, let me reiterate, the best offensive tackle last week. Actually, yeah, the best offensive tackle left or right side. So
again, good for
I'm wondering who they play. The Jets, they have a good defensive line.
Yeah, no, and again, the Jets game was very much a defensive battle. Wasn't the final score something like 15-10 or something?
But
it's not like, the offense, the Patriots offense had to fight for every freaking point.
Yeah, and Trent Brown did such a good job against a good Jets defensive front. So the question is, none of these guys on the Jets defense is Micah Parsons. I don't give a fuck. That's just the way it is. So will Trent Brown have similar success against Micah Parsons, one of the best in the NFL probably doing this? We'll see what happens. I think Micah wins this battle, but
it's hard to not see him winning this battle.
I think he wins every battle, right? The only way he loses is if they get the ball out quick.
I was just about to say, let me be fair and make it more of like a 75-25 split, right? Like, Micah's going to win a majority of the battles, but they'll probably get a few get away from Micah.
I'm sure, but I think it's going to be about the speed that they throw the ball. Again, he's Mac Jones, one of the faster throwers quickest release guys in the NFL. That's based off of the scheme. Like you're seeing Dak also kind of going that way. So what I think we need to watch for is Mac Jones. If he gets time in any way possible, I don't think it happens. He's not very good when he's under, again, the pocket collapsing. Even if he's not getting pressured, if it's not a clean pocket, he throws inaccurate passes. So if he has any kind of time, the deep ball is the most dangerous thing he will do to us if we give him time. I don't see how we'll be able to do it. But that's something to watch. Because you look at all things, guys, Mac Jones has held his own when it gets the ball out. When it's about getting the ball out against pressure, he gets the ball out quickly. We talked about this. That's going to be, and again, with a clean pocket, getting the ball out quickly, he did a good job so far this year in completing short yardage passes and short yardage situations. But their lack of big plays is what they really haven't been able to get doing it because of the game plan being so quick. So the Patriots right now are dead last in the NFL of 20 plus yard plays. They only have 3 the entire season. And again, they've tried to do it. They don't have the time. The scheme is to get the ball out fast. And when you look at next gen stats, what's his name here? Mac Jones leads the NFL with 16 pass attempts that are 20 or more yards down the field. So he's throwing the ball. It's just not working right now in this quick scheme here. He's getting the ball out there down the field. He ranks 32nd out of 33 qualifying quarterbacks in completion rate going deep. He's only 2 of 16. So the deep ball is something that we must continue to make sure he don't slip up. And we don't slip up and give him a big gain like we did against the Cardinals last week when we gave up a 69-yard pass.
I would call that more than just a slip up, but I get what you mean.
So the 69-yard give up there on that big play, we cannot have that. This guy he has 2 for 16 this year over 20 yards. We cannot have him go 3 more. All of a sudden he gets 3 on us. Hell no. That cannot happen. Without Trayvon Diggs, we got 1 week mulligan. Now get back on the Cowboys. And as we kind of when I look at this, at the situation with Mac Jones and the deep ball, you're gonna see guys out there like, again, the receivers have kind of been lacking deep passes. DeMario Douglas. Again, guys, I think week 3 versus New York, he had 17 snaps, which is again he's upticking his snaps. You might see this guy be the deep threat guy. The Patriots are going to put in there, kind of help their receiving core and help stretch the field. So DeMario Douglas could give Mac Jones more options when it comes to targets capable of getting separation from the defenders. A reminder, Juju Smith-Schuster, who we know in his old days he was much better. He's died off on that side of things now. But he has struggles this season, especially in kind of like a Michael Gallup situation, in separation from the defender. He has had trouble separating from the defender. So, again, Bill O'Brien and the Patriots coaching staff, they're going to probably do some more play action on offense with Mac Jones in week 4. Try to create the big play, the 20-yard or longer passes. So by doing some play action, it's going to draw up the Cowboy linebackers, who were some of the problems last week we had, were right there. And you saw this happen with the Patriots when their tight end, Pharaoh Brown, had a 58-yard score. A touchdown. Again, not the most big play guy as their third-string tight end, but Pharaoh Brown, 58-yard touchdown against the Gents last week off of play action. So the Cowboys can't fall asleep on the play action stuff. They're going to do a lot of that. And again, they had some success right there with Pharaoh Brown, but again, they have not really embraced or done enough play action. Because we complained about this for our own Cowboys in the past. The Patriots now, they all seem to be having that problem. When you look at where they rank at going play action for the Patriots, 29th out of 32 in the NFL. They only do it less than 15%. Even though Mac Jones has a passer rating of 132.3 when they're play action. So, very similar to Dak Prescott when he was doing play action. We were doing so much, but his numbers ran up through the roof. We slow down on play action. You see his numbers kind of decrease overall. So, again, I can relate to this, but that's where you're seeing how we need to stop Mac Jones, some things they got to do to maybe get him going. So, as we finish up tonight, we get the last thing to talk about, which is stopping the goddamn run. Probably the most important thing to decide. The biggest problem I thought last week Ramondre Stevenson, Ezekiel Elliott, number 15, versus our Dallas Cowboy run defense. The Patriots run game was one of like the real, kind of like surprises for the Patriot fans that the run game was going to be kind of subpar this year. At least the first 2 weeks of the season. Last week, there was a little more from Ezekiel Elliott. You got 80 yards, right, on what was it, 16 carries?
Yeah.
So this week, the expectation is a 1-2 punch. Kind of we remember with Zeke on our team, right? Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott, they're going to be my expectation, they're going to be the focal point of the New England offense. Even though all the offense I talked about, Mac Jones and getting the ball to this guy, throwing it deep, all that shit, in the end, stopping the run is going to be our key to win this game. So they got Ramondre Stevenson, they got Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to have, again...
I mean, the key to this game hasn't really changed from the last handful of games. Just it's even more of an emphasis in this one. We got to stop the run before we do almost anything else.
And you saw what happened when we don't stop the run.
Oof.
222 yards against this Cowboy defense. So we got to make sure we stay on top of this team in the run game. They entered week 3 against the Jets, averaging only 82 yards on the ground. That was 27th. But then, after the Jets game, they went the right direction. They got 157 yards on the ground against the Jets' run defense. We went up against them, right? We got some yards on them too, though. The point is, Zeke had 16 attempts for 80 yards, 5 yards per carry. That's kind of what the headline is coming into Dallas. So to me, it's not about Zeke as much as it is stopping the running game. And we do that, the passing game for them will be almost non-existent. And our offense will make mistakes. We win the game, guaranteed. That's my guarantee. If we do those simple 3 things, we win the game. So there's the breakdown for you guys. A little matchup situation. Let me hear what the chat's saying. And then we're calling it a night.
Then we win the game. So let me see. Fuego said the top 2 things we need to do are stop the run and get the red zone under total control. So absolutely. And again, kind of funny how a lot of that does have to do with some of the major coaching situations we've had, right? In the sense that Dan Quinn has to make sure to properly scheme so we can stop the run, and McCarthy has to make sure we properly scheme so we can actually score in the fucking red zone. Okay. So, Righteous Scotty saying if the run defense continues to struggle, it might be time to fire the D-line coach if for whatever reason he's unable to get through to them.
Yeah, I think Aiden Dirty is, he's kind of safe under there with Dan Quinn. But, I don't know if it's just the teachings that are failing in that sense. I think it's maybe more Dan Quinn's concepts or the players we have. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Will it be a linebacker issue? Will it be a defensive line issue? We don't know where it is yet. It could be a linebacker issue. Yeah, we'll see.
That's where it really depends on what the front office decides to do. But I imagine they're going to get feedback from, Quinn and McCarthy and all them and just kind of saying, like, hey, what's working, what isn't, who's working, who isn't. So, let me see here. Rolling back a little bit more. Fuego 2.0 said, Dak better do a double reverse with another player who can actually throw deep like Diggs can. So, hey.
Funny.
That's another reason why we're sad we lost Diggs, right? Making a joke. So, David Gallardo said, I see the Pats doing what Arizona did, then just make adjustments.
Yeah. And with Belichick, they will. And that's why we have to be careful. It's more important we make the adjustments than what adjustments they make, right?
So, let me see here. I'm trying to read a different comment, even if the same person kind of was commenting there. Jumps the Cowboy said, the blueprint is out on containing Micah from sacks, and that's to run right at him.
Yep.
I do like the fact that he's not as mobile as Cardinals QB.
Yeah, Mac Jones is not as mobile or fast, but he's not going to be holding that ball too long. Same as the Cardinals quarterback Dobbs. They're going to be boom, boom, get the ball out quick, boom, boom, kind of like our offense is rolling. Kind of like the Cardinals offense. Expect this way to beat the Cowboy pass rush. That's what I expect them to do, but the key is you slow down or stop the run. Eventually they got to start going for deeper passes, longer passes. That's when we attack and strike. When they have control, they have the lead, they don't have to do anything. They can just keep running and quick passes. And then you got to contain. You got to slow down our defense. We got to slow down their run game. That's how we win. If they get the run game going, they slow down our defense. If they do things right.
So let's see. Fuego 2.0 said Sean Payton took that money from Denver, and they're still 0-3. So
they'll be 0-4. Said Fuego. Hey, that's a wrap, guys. Tonight, Fan Friday style. Much love. Shout out to Jason Renfro. Actually, the only guy who dropped the love tonight, gifting a membership. Appreciate you, Jason, and go Cowboys. Now. Also, I want to shout out the sponsor of the week, Snug X. Always appreciate the man Snug. We might
know why he's here.
We might have a little fun tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But right now, I got to shout him out not just for the sponsor week, because he's also the 7-time Cash App King. He's also on that streak for 8 in a row. We'll see what happens. He is in the lead. He is the leader currently in the Cash App. And Marco Seppian, 62 points in the stream boss. Oh yeah, he's bossing that stream around. He's also bossing the board around this week, trying to take that sponsor of the week in first place. We actually got a great thing coming up on the sponsor of the week board coming up starting in October. So we'll talk about that as well. So that's on that. And also the gifting board. Gifting memberships, appreciate. Much love to the Lunatic, repping that crown right now on the gifting membership side. The leader currently, in a lead by, 2, I think, over Jason Renfro, is Brandon James. Much love to Brandon James rocking that spot. So on that note, baby, let's get those shout-outs going. One last quick run-through of the names and the family members that are in the house chilling with us. Hitting that like, subscribing, hit that notification bell, and let's discussing these Cowboys pieces of news, info, and updates on the nightly here on MCF.
We have Cassie Stewart, Fuego 2.0, Take It Easy, Harold Jones, much love, MB in the place to be, Retro Scotty, of course, Asmodeus, representing, Mary Alvarez, much love, David Caballero. We have, let me see who else, Drums and Cowboys, much love to you. Chalk to Montana 808, you already know. Bama fan, Take It Easy. We have Retro Scotty, have a great night. I'm just trying to make sure. Let me see. Clark motherfucking Kent, have a great night as well. Take it easy. I'm trying to go back. Angelina Cervantes, much love. I think, yeah, it's as far back as it lets me go. So let me come back down. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think we're good on my side, baby.
So let them know. Why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family each and every night?
Could it have something to do with that navy blue?
Yeah.
That silver too? That star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, you can see it here. Even in the cartoon style, we rep that star over everything. Guys, never forget here on MCF, 6 years in a row and beyond. As always, here on MCF, My Cowboys Family, here on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for rocking and dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. Can't do this without your guys' input. Also appreciate the drops of love from above. As always, guys, I can't do this thing on all those fronts. But now it is time to clock out and drop out officially for the night. Relock and reload tomorrow for our preview for this game against the Patriots. And maybe a little preview party. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned for tomorrow. It should be fun. Guys, thank you for rocking with us here once again on My Cowboys Family. And baby, before we can officially drop out of here for the night, tell them what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped, guys. Thank you for rocking with us here for another one and a Fan Friday here on My Cowboys Family. We got to take out those Patriots this week, but first, we got to see how practice goes tomorrow to see about Zach Martin, Biotish, make sure they're good to go. What's going on with Peyton Hendershot? We'll see. We'll talk about it all tomorrow and more right here on My Cowboys Family. Tomorrow night on another Cowboys chat. Yeah. Unfortunately, Tyron Smith is out for this game against the evil New England Patriots. Zach Martin, Biotish look good to go. Should be an official word tomorrow on that. McCarthy, handling the offensive play calling. Got to get the red zone shit down. And, of course, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, they spoke their parts on things. You got the Deflatriots. That's our next opponent. That's our next victim, hopefully. Lights, camera, action on Sunday afternoon. We'll be here. Will you guys be here rocking with us right here on MCF tomorrow for our preview? We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Much love to everybody. Remember, here on MCF, that navy blue, that silver too, that star for everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to you guys. As always, can't do this without everyone's participation. Everyone hitting that like, subscribing, notification bell. Follow us on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Jump to Discord. We'll see you back tomorrow for another one, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe. Peace out. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!
on the beat. Monk on the beat.